Yo, what is up, my Shadow Army? So, I, Shadow Critias, back again with another Hazbin Hotel video. So, guys, today I bring you guys part 3 of behind the scene of my fanfic story that I've been working on, and that is Hazbin Hotel, Blood of the Nephalem. If you have not read all the chapters, this will contain spoilers for chapter 21 through 30. But this recording, chapter 10 is already out. Not chapter 10, chapter 30 is already out. And yeah, so 30 chapters are out. So go read right now when y'all get the chance. And sorry it took me so long because it's been a month. So mainly because I had to do like one chapter by chapter to take a break and a few weeks there, etc. That's why. Plus, I was reading the Star Wars, the New Jedi Order series. That's why I've been focusing on, been reading. So I'm basically going to take another month break and going back reading the expanding universe. You know, the New Jedi Order series, so I can make part 2 of my review of that before I finish the rest of the chapters. So before I continue on. 5 more chapters, and that will be the end of this story. So the next part will be the finale, will be the final part of behind the scenes. So if I was y'all, go read now. My Wattpad page will be down below the description box and in my bio. And I will say some of y'all actually love and enjoy it, and y'all were so invested in almost hitting 1K viewers that people are reading. So yeah, again, this will be spoilers for chapter 21 through 30 because I just got done publish chapter 30 by this recording. So well, out of the way, let's just go ahead and start with this. So, chapter 21, another Bust the Dust. This is just a filler chapter because I want to focus it on some other characters, and this chapter basically focusing on 4 characters: Angel Dust, Husk, Molly, aka Angel Dust's sister, and Serpentius. Because I feel like I want to bring Serpentius in this chapter so y'all can get to see more of him, because I feel like, you know what, I might as well mention him just this once, maybe twice in these for the next chapter actually. And since season 3 we are getting story of Angel Dust, because Vivsy says season 3 there will be 2 story arcs, and season 3 is going to be about family between the Morning Star and Angel Dust. So I decided to use that idea to have Angel Dust and Molly to be in this chapter, explain their origins. Like Angel Dust explain his origin to Husk, well, Molly is telling the story to Serpentius. And if you guys don't know who Molly is, this is what she looks like. Plus, you guys pretty much seen her like twice in season 1, and see her again in season 2 as a cameo. So basically, we will get to see her in season 3. Because there will be no reason why they include or add a cameo of Angel Dust's sister. So, this is her. So, like I said, this chapter is kind of a bit filler. And I made Angel Dust and Husk to be as a couple. Yeah. Just for anyone who loves Husk Dust or Dust Husk, or Angel Husk, whatever the name of the ship is. So I did it for the people who ship Angel Dust and Husk. To be honest, it's gonna happen eventually, because the way they bond, the way Husk always look at Angel in season 2 as a dressing like a woman, yeah, you know they're hinting that shit. So I might as well just make this as an official in my fan fiction. So that's what I kind of did, honestly. So I really have nothing else to say about chapter 21. Chapter 22, we all make mistakes. This chapter is short, is a continuation after chapter 21, because I wanted to be its own separate chapter. So it's basically focusing on Molly and Serpentius of their bond, and they became close friends, because I think Molly and Serpentius would be good friends since, and yeah, there's really nothing else I could talk about. It's just them two, etc. And Serpentius felt like I have no regret for what I did, but somehow I'm here and I feel like I don't deserve. And Molly basically be like that support, like, yeah, we all make mistakes, sure, but we need to learn to let go and move on, or something like that. So, and Serpentius doesn't know what to feel to be relaxed and be in heaven. I mean, sure, he's already got used to him being in heaven, but he felt like, now I just don't feel like, alone. I felt alone. I don't know why. I mean, I made friends here in heaven. I made friends with Emily, Sarah, Abel, Lute. She hates my guts. And now you. But I still miss my friends back in hell. That loneliness. Like, he felt empty. But Molly is there to be the basically. Serpentius sees Molly almost similar to Angel does, and can't speak, when Serpentius hears Angel Dust's name, Anthony, and he kind of puts the pieces together that Molly looks so similar to Angel does, and the fact she said Anthony, he kind of puts it together that, oh, Anthony is Angel Dust, and she's related to Angel Dust. So basically he's speaking to Angel Dust's sister. So yeah, I hope we do see more of her, and I hope we do in season 3, because they have to, if this is going to be involved family type of theme in season 3, and the fact that Angel Dust is going to be part of the role when it comes to his story. So they had to mention her and bring her in the series. So, like I said, I have nothing else to say for for chapter 22. Chapter 23, Blossom of Love. Now, this one is just a filler side romance story, or romance chapter between Emily and Abel. Yes, I do ship Abel and Emily because they just seem too damn adorable. So I did it for those people who ship Abel and Emily. So fucking sue me. Like I said, there are some chapters are kind of filler. I just did it for the hell of it. So because I want to like dial it back and let's take a breather of the intense all this problem, dial it back just a little bit. So yeah, and I feel like Abel and Emily don't get that much screen time together, so I decided to do something with that by having them as becoming an official couple. So yeah, that's basically the chapter. And Abel basically asks Emily, how does she able to, you know, able to do this? How you're the only one who only believed, you the only one in heaven believe that redemption was possible. You believe Charlie's her ideals while no one else would. And Sarah necessarily. Emily is basically the embodiment of hope. Like, she hopes that sinners can be redeemed, and Sir Panchers was a prime example. And Abel, he's just, just a, well, I don't want to say coward, but more shy and nervous, because have that kind of burden of being the leader of the Exorcists and not a fan of violence, and being the son of Adam, the first man, does bring a lot of reputation, etc. So, yeah. And again, I just love Emily as a character. So that's why I kind of, like I said, this chapter is just filler, but it's canon to this fan fiction. So basically, like I said, I just did it for the people who ship Emily and Abel. So again, there's really not much depth I could go into for this chapter. So I just want to talk about it. Chapter 24, Deal to Another. Now this chapter is between Zach and Alistair, where Zach is basically questioning Alistair about where were you for the past 7 years. And since Alistair doesn't want to give any questions, whatever, so Zach is kind of put all the pieces together, etc. And the way I did Alistair, he's like smiling and his power is set to, yep, he's playing dangerous game. He's playing dangerous game. Like, he's nailing to the coffin. And Zach comes to the conclusion that that Alistair and Rosie work with Rue, and Rosie made a deal with Rosie. No, I can't speak. Like, Alistair and Rosie working with Rue, and Rosie is working. Well, Rosie made a deal with Rue, and Zach believe. So basically, Alistair just like, oh, you're playing a dangerous game, my boy. Yeah, that's not okay. And Zach actually proposed Alistair a better deal than Rosie's. And Alistair was like, oh, I'm listening. What kind of deal you have in mind? And then what can I say? Zach says, well, I will make you, I typed it on the, oh yeah, I did. Then Zach says, where is it? Okay. Yeah, I found it. Okay, sorry. I'm looking at the fanfiction on my Wattpad page on my other phone, so, the executioner. So Zach makes a deal that he can make Alistair a executioner. Since Lucifer cannot harm sinners, Alistair will have the power to harm sinners as he wishes. Like, yeah. And not only that, not only he will be an executioner, he will be stronger than all the overlords, and he will be in the same equal level to the Ars Goetia. Basically, he will be in the same level of all the birds. And that might be stronger than all the Goetias. So that caught Alistair's attention. And Alistair says in return that he wants to see, want to know and show him proof that Zach could beat Rue. and Cage made a deal with Alistair. So that's basically the whole conversation, and Zack made the deal with Alistair and make Alistair the executioner, which means Alistair is gonna get a power up and he will get stronger. So yeah, that's yeah, so that's basically it for chapter 24. And yeah, I have nothing else to say. Chapter 25, More Than Anything, 18 plus. Oh, you know how long I've been waiting for this? Whew, I'm about to make my name for myself here. I've been waiting to do this chapter ever since I thought of making this fanfiction. And this is between Charlie and Vaggie. And Vaggie wants to marry Charlie. And he wants to, and she wants to get her father's blessing. And Lucifer tells her, like, you already have my blessing. After all, you're part of the family. You're part of her life. You were there for her. You're always protecting her. You are her shield and sword. You're everything to her. I want my daughter to be happy. So go make her happy. And there was a song that I came across that, like, oh, I'm definitely going to use this song as a reference, which is called More Than Anything Reprise. When I listen to this song, it is made by One Project. That's basically the YouTube channel name. The YouTube channel name, One Project, who did the video More Than Anything Reprise. When I listen to the music, the song is like Vaggie is the one who's singing. And I left the comment on that video, I think, and I said, this is something that Vaggie would sing to propose Charlie to marry her. And I don't know why, that's basically my headcanon. I was like, yeah, that's something that Vaggie would do. Sing More Than Anything, and how much Charlie meant everything to her, and she would propose to Charlie. And this art right here that I found, for those people who may not know, there was a video where two lesbian couples were at a convention, and they were both cosplay as Charlie and Vaggie. And the cosplay who cosplayed Vaggie, she proposed to her girlfriend who cosplayed as Charlie. So this art was a reference to those two lesbian couples at that convention. And after seeing the two lesbian couples and cosplay of Charlie and Vaggie and the music by One Project, is the reason why I start to love the relationship between Charlie and Vaggie. So I decided to make this one very special chapter. And every time I read this chapter once it's done and listen to music, it just made me feel happy and heartwarming. So Vaggie asked Charlie to marry her, and she said yes. And then, let's just say they have their moments together, and happy one, which is the 18 plus. So basically, sex scenes between these two now fiancés. So I was waiting for this because, and my mind was like, if Hazbin Hotel is only for, you know, younger and older adults, how come they never add sex scenes? Because they allowed to. No, what the hell? I don't know what the hell that happened. Like, they allowed dark humor, sex jokes, porn, like literally shows a bit of the sex scenes and sex toys for both Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss, but they don't show the sex scenes. Like, what the hell? Why would they do that? I mean, Hell of a Boss adding sex scenes on YouTube, okay, that's kind of fair. But with Hazbin Hotel, I think that was kind of missed opportunity. Like, you could have done that. So, yeah. So I decided, you know what? Let's add some sex scenes between Charlie and Vaggie. So I kind of did that. So, yeah. If I had to say my favorite chapter that I was most proud of working on, it would be this one. I was proud of how I want this chapter to go. Like, yes, this is how I want it to go. And I was so proud how it went. I was thrilled. So, this actually might be my favorite chapter. My best chapter so far. So, I have nothing else to say for this chapter, honestly. Chapter 26, Mastermind Reunion. Now, ever since chapter 1, Zach met the imps and the Hellhound. And my mind was like, I need to have Zach to meet them again. Because he has not seen them or heard of them since the first chapter. So I was like, I need to bring them back. So how am I going to do that? And then I remembered the Mastermind episode from season 2. Now, this is where the scenario has changed. Since every single scenario has changed in this fanfic. Instead of Nifty killed Adam, it's Cage. So that changed the scenario. And what else that changed? Vox gets killed by Cage. Zach free from Alistair's deal, both Vox and Rosie. Charlie doesn't use the favor that Alistair that she owns to Alistair. So Charlie still has that favor for Alistair. And what else that has changed? Angel doesn't leave, and Cage removed the hypnotize that was in Angel Does' head, so that never happened. What else? What else that has changed? Oh, Serpentius doesn't have that strong feeling for Cherry Bomb in this scenario. I forgot to mention that. What else? I think that's the only thing I remember I changed. Some of the events. I mean, keep this in mind. This is fan fiction. You could change any of the events if it goes well for the story. Now, for this one, this changed the events. Zach was just, bored out of his mind, and he was thinking, I wonder what happened, the imps. Until he came across the TV channel where Blitz was about to get executed by Satan. So, Zach decided to get his father. I think I say Cage saw Blitz or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm so used to saying Cage a lot. I don't know why. Like, Zach sees it that he was about to get executed by Satan and get his father. Hey, we need to stop this bullshit. And Lucifer was like, okay. Yeah, they need to know that of who's in charge. And Zach and Lucifer do head off to the Wrath Ring, to Satan's palace, castle, whatever. and they came across Stolas, and Stolas explained the situation that about, they were about to execute Blitz for using the Grim War, which is something is against the law, and Stolas tells Lucifer that he gave Blitz the stone that was once belonged to another imp all those years ago, so he gave that to Blitz to have his book back. And let's just say Lucifer decided to, time to put them in their place and have Lucifer sing Your Idol. And this was made, I can't remember. It was like Your Idol, a Lucifer song. Like someone actually made a version of Lucifer, Your Idol, so to speak. And then basically Lucifer calls all the this trial, and Stolas shitty brother-in-law trying to reason, but he cuts it off and said like, no, this is final, I get the final say, so that's it. So basically Lucifer just freed Blitz and his friends, which means Stolas doesn't lose his power, and he doesn't have that 100 years punishment. So Stolas still keep his title and his power. So yeah, in this scenario, he doesn't lose his power. And Lucifer is like, okay, I need to speak. Everyone, get the fuck out. I need to speak to Satan alone. And here's the thing. And Lucifer does give Zack the Grim War as a caretaker. When Blitz, Moxie, Millie, and Luna sees him, they're like, what the fuck? I thought you were dead. And Cage is like, hey guys, long time no see. And then Beelzebub and Asmodio just shouts out like, hey Zanky, hey Big Z. And Cage is like, oh, hey auntie, hey aunt. Like, hey auntie, hey uncle. He's basically calling the rest of the deadly sins his aunts and uncles. So they basically are the godparents to Zack and Charlie, but Zack calls them like aunties and uncles. And so basically Blitz, after having his moment with his friends and talking to Stolas, he's like, oi, you have a lot of explaining to do, fuckhead. So yeah, Zack explained everything, basically everything, all what happened after he left. After basically Zack told Blitz and the other three the whole event that happened after chapter 1, and they're like, holy shit, like damn. So after they had a chat, Lucifer was like, hey son, you ready to go? Like, yep. And Blitz is like, hey kid, offer his hand, thanks. So Zack and Blitz shake on it. But before that, he gets a text from Cherry Bomb with only 2 words in a text message: I'm ready. Which means, yeah, they have to go because Cherry Bomb is waiting for him to come back. So that's basically what happened. So, which leads to the next chapter. Chapter 27, The Wolf and the Bomb. 18 plus. Oh boy, I've been waiting to get to this point. I didn't want to rush the romance between Zack and Cherry Bomb. I wanted like a slow burn. That's why there's like several chapters that focus on Zack and Cherry, because I want to build up that relationship. And this was kind of well earned, so to speak. And of course, another 18 plus. Not only is just them, they're ready to be official and just get straight to sex. No, they both are just chatting, and since Cherry Bomb knows about Zack has learned nothing of Cherry Bomb what he has known when he arrived in hell. When he'd been staying in hell for a bit. He wants to know the real Cherry Bomb, the real her, before she got sent to hell. So Cherry explained about her life before she got to hell. And so I decided to bring her origin story. And keep this in mind, her origin is canon. Because, yeah, I looked it up and her origin is canon. So, basically, Cherry Bomb was born in the 80s of Australia. Her father, Izzy, who is her father is Izzy, her partner in crime. Remember the Addicted music video when No Money, No Power moment? And there was another person behind that she's thinking about? That was her father, Izzy. And he taught her everything that she needs to know to survive, know how to blow up, know how to fight, and all that stuff. And she did have a mother who was a kind, caring mother until she learned that she ran away from, that's what she heard from her father, until she learns the truth that he killed her because her mother wants to take her away from her father because trying to make her to get involved of something that she doesn't want to be part of. And they do have some fun time here and there before all that. And ever since the death of her mother, Cherry Open does what her father tells her to do this, do that, make money, have sex, kill that person, basically trying to survive, make the organization better, etc. And her father tells her to be like a suicide bomb to help him to escape by doing that, to have her to be a suicide bomber. So that's how Cherry Bomb died, just being a suicide bomber in front of a crowd or whatever. That's literally her origin. And her real name is, let me go all the way. Damn. Hold on. I'm trying to, okay. Her real name is, Charlotte? Yeah. Charlotte Bomb. Yeah, I was saying the name right. CHARLOTTE. Yeah. Charlotte Bomb. That's basically her name. So, yeah, that actually is her real name. So, Cage learning more about Cherry Bomb and learning more about how she ended up in hell, about her life, etc. So, yeah, so Cherry Bomb was born in the 80s, which we don't know which year of the 80s. All we know that she was born as a Australia in the 80s. So yeah, she's basically century years old. And Cage is like only 23, but pretty much at 24 right now because it's been over a year since the first when, because in season 2 it's been 8 years, so basically now a year later, like now already a year later, and now we're in like my own version of season 3, whereas now almost, so he's 24 but almost next year at the age of 25, so to speak. So yeah. And Cherry Bomb, as you still want to be with a psychotic girl with daddy issues. And Cage is like, you're talking to a Nephalem prince who basically has trauma, trauma and have god tier abilities. You're answering someone who's been through worse. And Cherry Bomb's like, yeah, fair point. And they started to make out and started to have sex. And it was well earned. I think this chapter is also my second favorite to work on. Again, it's has been a tale. It's only for younger and older adults only. So I had to do some sex scenes. I mean, there are some other people who write fan fiction of Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss. They add sex scenes in it, so I don't want to fucking hear it. Don't attack me because I'm doing the same thing like the others did, but you don't attack them. So, yeah, so it took me a bit to finally get to this point, but it was well earned to get to this point of this chapter. Chapter 28, Roots Rising. And this is basically focusing on between Lilith and Rue of their conversation. Basically takes place in Lilith's dream because Rue decided to communicate with Lilith in her dream. Have their discussion, have their talk, etc. And let's just say Rue was like, oh, you owe me a favor. And Lilith like, I ain't owing you shit. And, oh, you don't remember? Let me show you. Oh, you do remember. Of course she would. She always would. About Charlie being a curse and that sort of thing. And the fact, and then after she changed the subject about Charlie, she changed the subject about Zach. Because she said, I knew Eve was the one who brought your son in hell. And I already knew that. But him arriving got more interested. And this might go according to my plan. And Lilith is like, what are you planning? What are you up to? And Rue was like, you see soon enough. So, not only she's after Charlie, he's also after Zach. So basically, Rue is after Lilith's kids, her babies, her daughter and her son. So yeah, she's talking to them, but mostly, I think no, actually, she's after both. Mostly, I can't say which one the most, but mostly both. And when when Lilith wakes up, yeah, she's started to freak out. So, not much to go over. It's just focusing on Lilith and Rue, the whole conversation, etc. So, yeah, nothing too special about that. Chapter 29, Welcome to Heaven. Now, this chapter is something I had thought in mind. And my mind was like, I need to have Zach to unlock his angelic abilities. Because he's going to need it. And I had to think, when would that happen? So, when I got to chapter 29, I was like, yeah, I need to make this as a chapter. So basically, this takes place a day later after Zach and Cherry had their moment together. And Zach wakes up and realizes, I need to go. I need to head down to heaven. Cherry thinks that, oh, he's just going to leave me just like that. But Zach's like, no, I'm coming back. And Cherry's like, you better. And better not go on, basically, don't go all holy on me or whatever. So basically, Zach goes to heaven with the help of Emily, since Emily is a closer friend to Charlie. So Emily helps Cage to get to heaven. Keep in mind, he's a Nephalem, so basically he does have the right to travel. And plus, even though he died twice, he still kept his human body. So he's still a human and he can still travel. And when he arrived in heaven for the first time, he meets Sarah. And Sarah, like, oh, you want to learn the legacy of your father. And Zach's like, no, I want to understand. I want to unlock my holy abilities. And so basically, Sarah introduced Zach these 5 angels that taught his father, and they're going to teach him everything that his father knows. So here's are the angels, and these angels are from the Diablo. Tyrael, Ariel, what's her name, right? Imperius, Malthiel, and Ethiel, who I said his name right. And here's the characters, what they look like behind, the hood and the helmet. We don't know what they look like behind the hood except Tyrael. So here's one for Malthiel, Ethiel, Imperius, Arya, Arleo. Oh, again, I don't want to say her name right or wrong. My apologies. And Tyrael. So basically, these 5 angels are going to be training Zack to understand and how to unlock his angelic abilities. Which Zack does get a new outfit thanks to Emily, which is this one right here. Is the same, identical to his current outfit that he's been wearing, but instead of purple and black, is white and gold. So this is his outfit. And basically he learns everything from them for the past few hours to understand, training, teaching him. And then Tyrael and Ariel takes him to a chamber where there had his father's sword, which is right here. Once belonged to his father all those years ago. And Tyrael said, only you must be worthy to wield this. When Zack touched it, it rejected him. And Zack basically said, I'm not like him, I'm not him, but I will stand what he stood for, but I will do it my way. When he grabs it again, it doesn't reject him. It accepts him, sees him as a true worthy, and honoring the blood of his father. And his final trial, well, let's just say I thought of this, like, yeah, this actually wouldn't make sense, I might as well just do it. His final trial is to face one of their greatest warrior, their greatest champion that's already inside this room. And Malthiel says, well, once you walk inside this room, is, well, 10 years in there, 10 hours out here. Which means heaven have their own hyperbolic time chamber. And instead of just 1 year in there, 1 day out there, this one is different. This has 10 hours inside. 10 years inside, but 10 hours outside. And someone is already out there. I can't speak. And one person is inside waiting for him. So, yeah, I decided to include that. So basically, Cage will have 10 years of training with someone as his final trial inside the hyperbolic time chamber for the past 10 hours for the outside of the time chamber. So when he's ready, he enters and he comes across to someone that, and Pierre said, you will face someone that basically knows about Hellspawn. So by this person, this warrior, has encountered and known Al Simmons in the past. So when he enters, he meets Angela, the daughter of Odin. And before you say anything, she's from Marvel. Before that, she was in the Spawn comics until they kind of got sued for copyright. So she's still a Spawn character. So I'm going to put her in the story. So yeah, this is his final trial, is to face her in combat for the next 10 years inside the hyperbolic time chamber, while 10 hours happens outside. So basically, the people who are outside, they had to wait for the next 10 hours. But with Zach and Angela inside the robotic time chamber, 10 years for them. So basically, since Zach's already 24 and he's going to be there in the next 10 years, once he step out, he may look like 24, but he's 34. Like, again, he will still be in his 20s once he step out. Once he step out, he's in the age of 34. So basically, he just skip ahead from everybody to the age of 34. And here's the thing, I forgot to mention one simple thing. Since Zach is a Nephalem, half demon, half angel, and part human, once he reached the age of 23, he does not age afterward. He stays how he is. So, basically, he looks younger in his early 20s. But now, 10 years later, inside the hyperbolic time chamber, he's 34. So, he doesn't age. He does die. He can be killed, but he doesn't age. So, yeah, that's something I want to make that clear. So, I'm keeping that in mind. So, keep that in mind to everyone. So basically, inside the time chamber, Zach and Angela will have their sparring, etc., to see how skillful he is against her. So that's basically it for chapter 29. Now to reach the final chapter of the day, chapter 30, Shao Set Me Free. Now this focuses on Loot, which I need to touch on since it's been a while since I ever have Loot involved in the story. So this involved her, just feeling an outcast, felt like, she doesn't like how everything changed. She doesn't like how heaven and hell are now can live at peace. The extermination is no more. And now she's an outcast and started to go crazy and started to keep speaking to Adam. Like, you're not real. That doesn't change that you miss me, bitch. And then Rude started to speaking to her ear in her head, said, hey, you want the old ways back? You want your old order back? Do you want the world to go back how it was before? And Luke's like, yeah. Well, do this favor for me. Get me out. What? Yeah. If you do that, you fix everything. I can restore all of it for you. If you do it for me. Because my prison is about to crack, and I need you to destroy the surface to break completely. Which Loot goes where the core to break her free, which is a golden crystal apple that the only people get to it is basically anyone, honestly, but no one dares to go there. But Loot was the only one was able. She's like the first ever angel who dares to go there. So basically, Loot was hesitant and started to question, like, what happened if I do? Then Rue said, you actually would fix everything. You actually will get it done. So Loot actually destroyed the golden crystal apple, free Rue from imprisonment. And Loot, like, I did it. I restored order. Like, and Rue was like, yeah, you did. You restored it for me. Which was, yeah, I'm not fixing your order. I'm fixing it for me. So basically, Luke, you fucked yourself over. You fell for it. You let your insanity, your obsessively, and your anger consume you to do something horrific thing. And Rue is now free from her imprisonment. And now, yeah, you fucked yourself over. And the other 7 archangels felt this seal has been broken. And I decided to bring all the 7 archangels, Lucifer's siblings. When they felt the presence of Rue being free and the seal has been broken, oh boy, this is fucking serious. This shit is about to go down, and we need to stop her before she does some stupid shit or worse or whatever. Oh boy. So yeah, that's the introduction of the archangels that I want to bring, because just for the hell of it. I thought someone was coming to my room. But yeah, I decided to bring the archangel to be part of it when they felt Rue's present has been released and the seal has been broken. And Michael was like, yeah, prepare the armies. We need to prepare now. So in the hyperbolic time chamber, Zach and Angela felt her present. And I had to end the chapter with Angela said, I got a bad feeling about this. And that's the end of chapter 30. And that's the end of part 3 of Behind the Scenes of Hazbin Hotel Blood of the Nephalem, chapter 21 through 30. So yeah, soon 5 more chapters and it will be done, and the next part will be the final of behind the scene discussion and breakdown of the chapters. So yeah, 5 more chapters and it will be done. And oh boy, I can't wait to talk about those 5 chapters once is done. Ben, I start this story back in February, and the fan that I'm about to finish next month in June says a lot. So basically, again, I started in February, and then I'm about to finish in June. So, I started in February. So March, April, May. So basically, 4 months of working this. Man, I never thought this fan fiction would make me enjoy and have a lot of passion for it. And I'm glad for everyone who enjoys reading these. And I'm looking forward to do more of this in the future to break down and behind the scene, etc. So, yeah. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Tell me what you guys think of the first 10 the new 10 chapters, chapter 21 to 30. Or if you guys have not read it, go check them out. I highly recommend it. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Links to my other channel, my social medias will be down below the description box. You guys know the drill. Links to my CashApp, PayPal, Ko-fi will be down below the description box and in my bio if you guys want to donate to support the channel. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Near before Shadow Curious. I'll see you guys later.